I want to explore for a minute, if you will, with me, your motivation and the fulfillment you get because you're out there empowering other women to tell their stories and share their feelings with the world. And you've you've used your publishing company to do that. So how is that important for you in your personal life and your professional life? Because you yourself have written in all these books and you're quite an amazing author. I have read your stories, and not just in the ones that I'm in all of the books, and I love it. So how does this make you feel to know that you're having this impact, and what was your motivation behind it?
Well, I think, had we had this conversation 10 years ago, you would be meeting with a different version of me. So I really didn't see this happening 10 years ago. I was in a completely different field in my career, and I had no idea that I was going to be diagnosed with this crazy disease. And as soon as I heard the words incurable and terminal, I kind of had to like really, and it took some time. It was definitely not something that happened overnight, but I had to really think like, okay, what do I want my life to look like? I don't know how much time I have. They're telling me it's limited. So what can I do with the limited, amount of time that I have? So when we started talking about my diagnosis, we opened up the nonprofit organization. And for the first 2 years, it really took the focus off of me, my treatments, and all the procedures I was going through. In fact, like working with other families who were going through similar things actually gave me the understanding that I wasn't alone. And it kind of deflected the attention off my own symptoms. And then we hit this pandemic as a world together. Like nobody was going to escape this pandemic, no matter what. You could be the richest person in the world, but you are still facing a worldwide pandemic. And so we saw like a huge disconnect from women losing jobs to becoming the breadwinner because their husband lost their job. I watched some of my closest friends who are business owners for 20, 30 plus years lose everything because of the pandemic. And I just remember, we were sitting in the office one day, me and Adriana, and we were talking about like, what can we do? What does this look like? Like, how can we help? And really at that time, it was such a simple answer. Well, let's post inspirational things. Let's talk to the community of people who we deal with. And so that's what we did, and then my story soon took a face to it more publicly as I shared what I was going through personally. Um, and so I thought, if I'm going to create this platform for women to be able to have a voice and share their journey, whatever that looks like for them, then I have to be open and completely transparent with my own. So we started working on ways of what that would look like. And the first thing was I wrote in a book. It was very hard because my background is not writing. I write in my journal, I scribble in my journal, but I wasn't a professional writer. I had no training whatsoever. And so all my thoughts were up here and I had to put them into a journal, into a book. But I also found therapy there in the sense of, wow, I got all of that out. It's on paper. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I do. And I talked about things that mattered to me and things that I thought mattered to other women and men who might be going through something similar, like living a life without limits was one of the very first things I wrote about. Becoming that unstoppable woman, what does she look like? And to me, she looks like a woman who, no matter what, never gives up. She might pause, but she doesn't stop. She's adaptive, she's resilient, she addresses all her emotions and feelings. She's strategic, she's truthful, she's honorable. And so these things turned into more of a platform, moving forward. And then, of course, we created the Becoming an Unstoppable Woman movement and series based off of that. And every time we did something like that, I was seeing more and more women come forward saying, I need to share my story. I want to be involved in a community of women who supports one another. Because another thing that we tried to break the chains was that competitiveness. Women always competing with women, women competing against women who they don't even know, them putting themselves and comparing themselves to women on social media. And I'm just like, why? We all have such incredible talents and gifts and so much to offer from within. Why do we have to try and portray or fill someone else's shoes? It's exhausting,
Yes.
so I wanted our platform to celebrate women where they are, like us meet them whether they're in the middle of a storm or they're in the best time of their life. But either way, we wanted to meet them there and then be a part of their journey. And that's what She Rises is that collaboration, that celebration, that elevation, and then most importantly, we as women should always want to help educate one another and pay it forward. The things that we know, we can pay it forward to another woman so that that woman who's opening up a business or in the middle of a divorce, she has guidance, she has a community because we fostered it and made it there for her so that she is not alone. And it just kind of grew like a beautiful wildfire. And I don't think that it'll ever stop because the true intention is to truly make sure that whoever comes in what I call our home, which is She Rises Studios, that they are treated with the utmost love and excellence and respect possible. Is it bumpy? Yes. Is it a mess? Yes, at times it is. But at least these women know that we're truly vested in what they're doing.